Like, okay, so this personality assessment thing, the coolest thing about it is that there's a questionnaire, they ask you all these questions, and then they give you like the strengths and potential weaknesses of your personality type. They give you a color palette for what colors and fonts go along with your personality as well, which I thought was very, very cool, because I love the colors and fonts and like what my brand would look like. I love that. I thought it was awesome. The whole idea for me is that you fall in love with your own personality type, because when you recognize it in somebody else, you do love it. Okay. I'm going to post this in the Diamond group right now. Here's the deal, you guys. This call is not going to be all about this personality quiz, but I'm going to expand on it and talk a little bit more about it. So with this particular personality quiz, there are like, I think 7 different personality profiles. I'm pretty sure 7 different personality profiles. And each one of them is so different. And even it's funny because I look at coaches on like my personally sponsored coaches who I thought would have like exactly the same personality profile that I do. And they have a completely different personality profile than I do. Or people who I thought would be completely different from me are actually very close to the same as me. And that's so funny. But the whole idea and an exercise that I'm going through right now is to become more and more and more of who I already am, and to unbecome everything else. Because I think like as we go through life, I mean, when we're in like elementary school, especially junior high and then regular high school, we try to be like other people, right? We adopt characteristics and, you know, we try to be acceptable in whatever community we might be a part of. And I think as the Fit Republic, like the name Fit Republic even implies that we should be who we are within this community. And this is a really big push that I'm going to be doing with our team, because it's more fun. Firstly, it's more fun if you're operating your business this way. If you're really being yourself and you're like multiplying the amount of you that you inject into your business, it's way more fun. Also, it's so much easier. Like instead of sitting there and being like, I have no idea what to post. I have no idea how to talk to the people that I want to talk to. Like, what am I supposed to say to inspire these people? You'll know exactly what to say because you are just truly being yourself. It will be so easy and fun. My business has become so much easier and so much more fun. Since I've started to like get into this more and more, and there are a few resources that I'm going to recommend for you as well. So step 1 is to do this little personality quiz, but that's like it just barely scratches the surface of what I'm talking about. Okay, like barely scratches the surface. Kathy, I'm going to send you this book today, actually, and for everybody else, please go buy it. Hold on one second. There are 2 books by this author. Field of expertise. There are 3 books by this author. And I have now read all 3, and they're all great. But this one, because our business is such a personal one, we're not a corporate identity, right? Our brand is like, my brand is me and who I am, like just me, not Beachbody. So this one is called How the World Sees You by Sally Hogshead. She has another one called Fascinate, which is great, but it's a little bit more corporate than How the World Sees You. So I recommend this one instead. Both of them have a lot of the same information, but this is the one that I really recommend. How the World Sees You by Sally Hogshead. You might be able to find some of her resources on YouTube. I don't know. I haven't checked. I downloaded this particular one from Audible, and I know you can get the paperback version on Amazon. so as I've been going through this, and this has kind of been my push all year, is just to like really hone in on who I am and what that means, and like what am I really saying to people, right? So I'll explain to you sort of my differentiators that I used to not really talk about because I felt that they would make me less acceptable, maybe more prone to judgment. And like I kind of wanted to smooth over who I am so that I'm more for everybody, even though I always tell you guys not to do that, huh? So I'll tell you guys actually what I wrote down. Okay, so you know how in our business, it's a very pearl-centric business, right? Do you guys know Dani Johnson's personality profiles? So Dani Johnson's personality profile, she has 4 personality. I love personality profiles personally. But the Pearl personality is just like, I just want to help people. Like all I want to do is help people. That is very, like our business is a very Pearl-centric sort of business. But with the Pearl personality, what they most often don't realize is that the reason they just want to help people is to make themselves feel significant. Right? So that's not a wrong thing, right? But the motivation is still that they want something for themselves. It's just not money. It's just feeling significant, right? So we're in a very Pearl-centric sort of business, and I feel like a lot of the business part gets lost in translation because like we're supposed to toe the corporate line, and corporate always says all we should ever want to do is just help people. And so like for me, I was like, thinking about it, and like, yes, I do want to help people a heck of a lot more than when I started coaching. However, I still love business strategy. I still love wealth building. That's a passion of mine. It is actually a passion of mine, and it was since before I became a coach. So that's something that makes me different. I'm not the all I do is PD and help people coach. I'm not. I'm the I can help you make money coach. And that's important to me. And I'm also the coach who values money. I do. It's not because, like, you guys, I drive a car that one of my friends told me I needed to get rid of. My car, it looks like a white hearse. It's a Ford Flex. It has so much hail damage that if we'd had hail insurance on it, it would have been a write-off. So I'm not the kind of person that has to have the Gucci bag and all the things to impress all the people. I don't. The reason I care about money is because it affords me freedom. I got to leave my job. Chris got to leave his job. We get to go on vacation if we feel like it. Sure, I can buy a pair of Lulus if I want to. But like, let me reference the car again. It's not to impress anybody. Money is important to me because it affords me freedom in my life. And so I don't make apology for that anymore. I can help you make money. Like I can show you how to make money. That differentiates me in the Beachbody world because I'm not the one who always says, all I do is PD and help people, because it's true. That's not my passion in my heart. My passion in my heart is actually empowering women to make money so that they can have their own freedom. So that differentiates me. Something else, I have never aspired to be a stay-at-home mom. I just haven't. I don't, like, I personally used to feel really less than as a mom because I didn't want to be a stay-at-home mom. So I felt like I'm not as good as all the other moms, and especially the moms in my like circle of friends, I felt like really, really less than because I was happier if I was working. And then I went way too far the other way and was working 50 to 60 hours a week. And I was like, I shot myself in the foot. I'm like, I'm such an idiot. Like, why did I take the promotions? I went way too far the other way. But I'm different as a Beachbody coach because my kids, like my daughter's in school full time. My middle son is in kindergarten, so he's half days. And then my third is 3, and he's in daycare 3 days a week from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. It doesn't matter if I'm getting a pedicure that day or getting a massage that day. I don't necessarily work while he's gone. But I'm happier if I'm not like full-time stay-at-home mom. So that differentiates me as a coach as well. Like I know what it is for another mom to feel less than because she really is just like the household functions better if like the kids are gone part-time. It used to sound so horrible to me when I said that, but like seriously, when Bennett goes to daycare, he's so excited and happy to go because we found a place that he loves to go. So it is a great solution all around for our family. So that differentiates me as a coach. Also, I'm vain. I am. I bought boobs. I mean, you know? So like I said, it's not that I have to have all the things that like to keep up with my friends who have all the things and all of that kind of stuff. Not at all. It's just, I like what I like and I like to feel pretty and I like to get extensions for my hair if I feel like it. Given the videos that I make for you guys, you wouldn't think that I was really vain at all. But I like being able to buy things for myself without feeling guilty for taking it out of the household budget. And that's how I used to feel a lot. I would feel like, oh, like $150 for that or this is actually going to impact the family budget, and that made me feel bad. I wanted to just be able to buy things and not have to feel bad for taking it out of the household budget, right? So I'm a little vain and I care to spend money on things that don't really matter and that don't invest in anything at all and are just to make me happy. That's it. So these are the things that have changed so much, like that I used to sort of smooth over and gloss over and not talk about on my page. And then I was like, no, but this is like truly for real who I am. And the stuff that used to make me feel like I was less than other people. And now I just realized, well, that's just me, you know? Also, I talk about like my marriage is not perfect. You know, we've had our issues and stuff, and I don't get super personal because there are boundaries on social media. You know what I mean, guys? Like, there are things that I would never say on Facebook because there's privacy. There's openness, but then there's also that boundary of privacy for your relationship. So I'm not saying that you should go and talk about like your like intimate problems. Yes, exactly, Mandy. Thank you. She articulated it much better than I could have. When it reflects someone else, there has to be a boundary. Yes, because Chris is involved, right? Like, that's exactly it. But I do make it clear that we haven't had a perfect relationship. We've had our issues, you know, I'm real about that stuff. It always used to really bug me. I felt like all my friends had it together and I don't. Before I started coaching, I felt like everybody had it together and I don't, because people don't really talk about that stuff. You know what I mean? People like, they show the shiny and the happy and the perfect, and that's what they talk about. And now I'm like, ain't nobody got their stuff together. You know, nobody does. Everybody's just got issues in all the different areas. What I want to connect with people about is the issues that I have, right? Like that mom who's like, well, I've never really wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. She'll be like, oh my gosh, this girl gets me. No one else gets me, but she gets me when I talk about that. Does that make sense? Okay. Oh, a couple other things, but I'm a really terrible cook and homemaker. So I talk about the fact that I pay somebody to do the things that I suck real bad at. And that's another thing that not every mom is going to identify with me. Like I posted something about that, about hiring somebody to help out around the house once your business is making money. And there were several coaches on our team who commented, and they're like, cleaning is like my therapy. And I was like, more power to you, but you and we do not understand each other on this issue. You know, like, so the people who identify with me really identify with me. And the people who don't are like, she crazy, you know? And that's what it should be like. You should be polarizing in some of what you talk about. You should be polarizing. You should be separating the masses with your posts based on this stuff, based on who you really are. Another thing that I have been talking about a lot more is that I have ambition. Like, I'm a really ambitious person. I've always been like goal-oriented and motivated to accomplish something, right? So I talk about that as well because that's something that I want to attract. But what I want to the overarching theme here is not me and my brand. The overarching theme here is that you have a brand that's going to attract people. And if you really, really focus on what your brand is and what you have to offer and what you can identify with people around, your business is going to be a lot more fun and a lot easier. Karina, before you hopped on, I was just saying, if you're really, really you're not going to sit there and be like, what can I post? I have no idea what I can post. I have no idea what to say. What am I going to tell these people? I have trouble shutting up. I used to have such a hard time finding 3 posts a day. And now I'm like, I got to stop at 5. But I have more to say. And sometimes I do the overflow on my personal page because there's just so much going on because it comes so naturally and so easily because it is so, so, so me. So your tribe that you're going to build as a leader, because that's who you are, right? Your tribe that you're going to build is different than the tribe that I'm going to build. What you need to focus on is building your tribe and the value that you can offer these people. Please do download this book. I'm not kidding. This is your homework. You must download that book and you must listen to or read that book. Thank you, Mandy. Awesome. Because it's going to give you so much insight into the language that you can use to attract your people, because your people are different than my people. Okay, so what was I going to say? Okay, so once you figure out what your brand is, what your brand advantage is, rather, this book, Karina, it's called Why the World Sees, How the World, something the World Sees You, World. I can't find my phone or else I would tell you. I lost my phone. Thanks, team. How the World Sees You by Sally Hogshead. Do you remember the book Fascinate? It's by the same author, except this is it's from a more personal perspective as opposed to a corporate perspective. It's more useful for what we do. So what I was going to say is, once you find out what your brand advantage is, you don't have just one. You have one primary brand advantage. She's going to tell you you probably have a primary brand advantage. You probably have, it's a whole different resource. But this book is so much more in depth. But it doesn't give you colors, and colors are fun and fonts. So you want to do the other one too. And then it also gives you, there's a brand advantage that you have, your personality naturally has, that you're probably not using because you have to dig deep for it and it takes some effort. That was the most illuminating part of this book for me. I was like, dang, yes. When I use that underlying brand, personality brand advantage, it works, but I don't because it's hard. Right? And then it also highlights different strengths that you don't have and that you couldn't have to save your freaking life. So don't try. Stop trying. Unbecome everything that you've been trying to become that isn't purely you. This book is amazing. Just get it. So once you figure that stuff out, here's the deal. You've got to figure out what you can talk about in terms of your own lifestyle that is going to attract these people. I have people who are now messaging me every single day because they want information on how to become a Fit Republic babe. Every single day. I still have to do my follow-ups because one person a day or 2 people a day to talk to about coaching, that's not enough. So I still am doing all my follow-ups and all of that, my call to action posts and all of that stuff. But I have people messaging me proactively every single day now. So if you can get this down, if you can learn this, you'll suck at it at first. Like you'll suck real bad at first and your posts may actually get worse before they get better. That's okay, right? Just work on this. Just work on this. So figure out what you can talk about in terms of your lifestyle that is going to inspire and create some intrigue for your target market, for the people who are like you, for the people who will appreciate your brand. I was talking to my diamond coaches and I was like, I don't brag enough. Like I need to brag more. I hate bragging, but I have to, because people, like, if I don't say it, they don't know it. If I don't bring it to the forefront, they're not going to realize it. So I have to brag more, and it pained me, right? But then I was just like, hold on a second. I'm not really bragging. Firstly, I'm mostly posting to inspire. Secondly, I'm super proud of myself. So why shouldn't I say that every so often? I'm pretty proud, right? And also that kind of goes along with my personality profile. But you should be posting about, Kathy does a fabulous job of this. So she'll post like, last week she posted something about Brielle, her daughter. Like she'll wake up in the morning, she'll go outside and she'll go collect a few dandelions for Kathy. And like, just like, how sweet is that? And Kathy was talking about how, like, I'm getting tears in my eyes. I don't even want to be a stay-at-home mom, but that touched my heart because it was so genuine from Kathy. So she was talking about how she doesn't have to bring her to daycare, and this is the life that she wanted. And seriously, I'm getting teary-eyed because it was such, like, it touched my heart. So that kind of thing. Like Kathy does such a good job of being like, this is the life that I wanted. And like, this is what I'm creating. So that kind of thing. What is it that you're looking for? What is it that you want? For me, one of my things was, I don't know how many times I've said, can't I just get paid to work out and eat clean? Seriously. And so now, like, that's something I don't talk about enough. Literally a part of my job, hi Brad, a part of my job description is to work out and eat clean. And I've always wanted that. And if somebody had told me like 5 years ago that it would be part of my job description, I would have been like, yes, I will have arrived when that happens in my life, right? So think about those lifestyle things. Lifestyle. Amy Silverman talks about the fact that she lives in a tropical place. She talks about this all the time. If it's not overt in her text, it is implied every day, every single day. So Kathy, if it's not overt in your posts, it should be implied every single day. This is my life by design, right? So that you talk about that in terms of your fitness, you talk about that in terms of your family, you talk about that in terms of your finances, everything. And figure out a way to weave it in with almost every post. Like, I don't really want to see posts that are just like one-liners. Don't ever post like a one-liner with your Shakeology, please. Let me say, this is a side note. If you ever post about your Shakeology, there has got to be a point to that post. I almost never post about Shakeology because my page is not a commercial, right? I almost never post about it. When I do, there is a point to that post. And there is some value for them in it. It's not a commercial for me. There is some value for them in it. Typically, with my brand, it's education. Here's why I drink Shakeology, and then some real research. Not like I feel better, but like, here's why it's better quality, literally. Or this one's for the skeptics. I think the name Shakeology is really stupid. But, you know, and then I talked about the nutrients and all of that kind of stuff. So like, don't do commercials like that. If you're posting about Shakeology, make sure that there's a point and that people like are learning or getting some kind of value out of that. My whole point though was lifestyle. Amy Silverman does the best job probably of anybody in the company, posting about lifestyle and making it like, People don't join her because of Shakeology. People don't join her because of Beachbody products. People don't even join her to necessarily get fit. People join her because of her lifestyle and she has something that they want. That's why they're so similar. That's why her team is so very similar, right? So whatever it is, your lifestyle, stop thinking of it as bragging and start thinking about it in terms of you're inspiring people firstly, right? You're inspiring people and you're showing them what is possible for them. So you need to figure out what that is and do that every single day. And I don't want to hear from anybody, but I'm not inspiring. I don't want to hear that from anybody. Because if you're here, if you're in this group, you've accomplished at least something, and give yourself a little bit of credit. Like if you're at this point in your coaching journey, give yourself some credit. You don't need my permission or anybody else's, right? And feel good about what you've accomplished so far and talk about that stuff. Okay, so last point that I want to make is we need to focus on pulling rather than pushing. We need to focus on pulling rather than pushing. In my coaching conversations that I'm having, like that I have been having, it's more like I'm interviewing them. It's more like I'm trying to see if they're a good fit. Okay, so I'll give you an example. When Mandy was like, I need to interview potential coaches, right? Like she was talking to, I think, 3 different coaches or something. She'd been invited by a couple of other coaches to join Team Beachbody. And so she was like, I'm going to see what my options are, right? So her and I actually had a mutual friend who was my CrossFit coach and who was her CrossFit coach in the past. And that's how we found each other. Anyway, or that's how she found me. So she was kind of interviewing and she was like, well, why should I join your team? Right? And I was like, I'm not saying that you should necessarily join my team. Like find somebody who's accomplished something that you want to accomplish, who you respect enough to learn from. And then I can't remember what else I said, but my posture was that like you find the team that's right for you, because I know that if somebody who doesn't jive with my personality type joins my team, they're going to leave anyway and they're not going to accomplish anything anyway. And in the meantime, it's going to suck up so much energy and time that I'll want to peel my face off. Right? And so when you're talking to people about joining your team, don't be desperate ever. Because they feel that, put that away. Like every single person that you invite to join your team, that you talk to about joining your team, like interview them. Are they a good fit for your team? You share your excitement about the opportunity and what it is. And if by now you don't believe in the opportunity, do some serious soul searching right now. Do some serious soul searching to see if this is like really what you want. Now, by now, you should be able to talk to anybody about this opportunity and convey your level of excitement. And you should be able to be very, very genuine about the opportunity that you feel we have here. Okay, so that's something that you need to convey, and you don't need anybody to join your team. If you're talking to enough people, you don't, like one person, whether they or not they join your team, one coach who did join your team, whether or not they work the business, you don't need any of them. My business doesn't depend forcing the relationship because they have not liked my page. But they see my face all the time. So I promote posts like fitness related posts, lifestyle related posts that do well on my page. And then when I post a call to action for a challenge group or coaching, I promote it to this same target demographic. And then I know that 90% of the people who respond to my call to action, who don't already like my page, they're not going to join my challenge group. They're not going to become a part of my team. That's cool with me. That's like totally cool with me because I know that now they're on my contact list. And I will invite them to my next free group and I will follow up with them in 2 months about joining our team. And so most of my coaches come from follow-ups, from people who responded to an ad and then ghosted or just said not right now in the moment. So that's where my cold market comes from. It comes from ads, but 90% of them say no the first time. I would say on average, they join me in the 5th conversation. 4th or 5th conversation. But I'm good at that. I'm good at keeping track of them and inviting them to the next free group and all of that kind of stuff. If you guys want to talk a little bit more about this, I can, but I'm not going to get into any like a ton more detail right now. But I use Streak and that makes this whole thing a ton easier because I'm using email now. Does that make sense, Mandy? I don't know if that's like something you want to do, but it's working for me. And it's been working for me this year. In fact, Melissa Zimmerman, she ended up responding to my coach call to action post because a friend of hers liked my page. And then she texted this friend of hers and she's like, oh, hey, I'm talking to Rosa Friesen about joining her team and like, how do you know her? And she's like, oh, I don't know her at all. I just saw her on Facebook and I liked her page one day. And Melissa's like, oh, I guess I'm going to become a team member of this person I thought you knew. But it does lend credibility for sure. Yes, more exposure to you and your brand and consistent exposure to you and your brand. I'll show you real quick. Oh, I got to change my cover photo. I'm wearing a toque in my cover photo. That doesn't apply anymore. For the American on the call, Americans? No, just American. It's not a beanie. It is a toque. Okay. So this post, for example, I can't promote this one because it has an F word in it. So they won't let me promote that. But I might actually change this and make it like just the capital F or something like that and promote it to that target audience that I was telling you about. Because this is a photo that people are going to look at regardless of what the text above it says. And a lot of mamas who read this text, they're going to like it. Either they're going to like it or they're really not going to like it. Right? And they'll be like, unfollow all posts from Rosa Friesen Fitness. That's good. That's good. That means that I'm actually developing a target market, right? This post I will probably promote as well. It's about 2 strong personalities in our household. We have a strict "you're not the boss of me" policy. Besides, isn't it more fun when no one is wearing pants? That's very my personality. I totally joke like that. So that's another polarizing sort of post that I would promote because some people are really going to like it and some people are really going to not like that. Like the prim and proper are going to be like, ooh, no, not that girl. So I would totally I would promote something like this. It's just a workout. It's like a 10-second clip or workout clip or something. And it talks about my goals. I talk about when I used to CrossFit and how I never reached my body composition goals when I was doing CrossFit. It was very like black and white sort of. It wasn't like the CrossFit community, the CrossFit girls that I was hanging out with at the time were like You should never say that what you look like is important to you. You should only care about what your performance is like. And I was like, I just want to look good in a bikini. That's all. So I'm going to promote that to CrossFit girls because they are going to really not like it or really like it, right? Secretly agree with me. This one I probably would promote as well. I haven't done any promotions in the last few days because I've just been busy, or rather preoccupied because we hit top 10. So like those kinds of posts are what I would promote to that particular target market. I promote to the same target market all the time. As my likes grow, this target demographic also grows because the friends of people who like my page, as my page grows, obviously that demographic is going to grow. I hope that makes sense. So I'm basically, like I said, forcing the relationship. And they either like hide all from Rose of Reason Fitness, or eventually they will like my page or respond to a call to action. Because Carrie Webster, for example, she did not follow my page. She saw my post for a year and she never liked my page. And then one day I posted something that hit her in the gut and she was like, okay, I need to like do what this girl's doing. Any questions, thoughts? Your mom was totally up late last night. She loved my post about not wearing pants. Doreen is so cute. Any thoughts, questions, comments? Who is going to get the book that I said you should get? Good. Tracy, you didn't say yes at all. Awesome. Okay, really, really, really do get that book. It is so, 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 so worth the listen. I've been through it once. I'm going through it a second time to take more notes and to figure out more about how I can use my brand advantage. It tells you also what language to use. Like it will give you like a formula for what language to use in your posts to attract your target market. It is so awesome. It takes like some figuring, but my brand is the power brand and my secondary advantage, like power brand, meaning that I lead with confidence and I'm a decision maker and I inspire people to like make a change. And then my secondary is passion, which is relational, right? And like all about the feels, that totally makes sense to me. That's totally me. And then I have an underlying advantage that I rarely use because it's hard. Because it takes work, and that's mystique. That's like sort of intriguing people without giving them all the information, asking a lot of questions before we give them all the information. I'm good at doing that, but sometimes I just vomit all the information because it's easier. Okay. Yeah, Alexander, it will help. Like, it will help. It'll give you your primary advantage, and you can just use that same language and the same tactics like over and over and over again. But it'll also tell you how to incorporate, like I said, your second and third advantages so that you're keeping things interesting, right? It will help, I promise. Okay, y'all, that is it for today.